Aurora is the spirit of the Arctic, and she's also the spirit of the movement to save the Arctic, and she's coming to London, to the home turf of the oil companies that want to destroy her home, to say enough is enough, back off. We wanted to make something that was really accessible for people and that was really kind of inspiring. So we thought, what better than to make a huge polar bear that people can follow through the streets of London.
That's the way around here. The biggest and the boldest ideas sort of rise to the top and then we take them on. And here we are. It's somewhat of a challenge.
Aurora is currently in a workshop in Leighton. She's being built by a company called Factory Settings.
They're a really talented bunch of individuals who build theatre sets and mega props for Olympic opening ceremonies and the like. And they're really, really clever people.
She's got about 30 different people working on her there. That includes the designer, Chris, who's kind of embedded himself there in the space as well.
The team that are working on her are amazing. It's kind of home from home being here because everyone gets on so well. It really is quite a family of sort of builders around her. So together we're all kind of in sync, really. I'm kind of up in this room sewing and creating all of the fabric elements, and I step out of my room and look at a balcony into the workshop where you can see her daily build, which is incredibly fast. The point where I was just terrified at what we were doing was literally when we saw 3 wheels and a skeleton frame, and it was suddenly like, okay, yeah, she's pretty big. We've always been talking about the size, but until you see it, it's really hard to get your head around.
This is the biggest piece of this nature that Factory Settings has ever done. For us to do a big mobile piece like this that's also a puppet, it is a little bit unusual. It's also really enjoyable, pretty cool for us.
Aurora is as big as a double-decker bus. She's a lot longer than a double-decker bus though. I suppose she's probably the length of about 2 double-decker buses. She is 3.7 tonnes in weight. With all the cladding on and everything, that's what she'll end up being.
She is a giant marionette, effectively. Every joint has been shaped to allow for complete movement. Conceptually, she comes together with ideas of reclaimed ship parts that have maybe been found deep at sea and brought together with kind of a steampunk aesthetic. So she has a mast and rigging, which gives her again another marionette kind of image.
Chris came back with a design that was part bear, part ship, which is absolutely perfect for us because obviously Greenpeace has got ships at its heart.
Pete, our lead sculptor, has got a very good eye, and in terms of getting in the personality that Chris and Hannah wanted, he's the one that's been responsible for making that happen.
I was kind of going for the gentle giant, a bit of mystery, sort of non-human wisdom as bears are portrayed in fairy tales. It's always such a crucial thing getting the eyes in any creature right, because that makes the difference from having a piece of foam and having a creature looking back at you. When you nail the eyes, it instantly becomes alive. There are days when I just try to work out one detail, and then every once in a while you step back and you look at it, you know, all of a sudden something new moves, or, you know, the legs are going up or something like that, and you step back and you think, wow.
As from next week, we start rehearsing with her. It's impossible to imagine that I've designed something that is going to walk through central London, so I haven't quite accepted what's going to happen yet.
But one of the challenges with Aurora is its size, so it was quite difficult to find a rehearsal space large enough to accommodate. And we were lucky enough to come into contact with a place called North Weald Airfield.
Aurora is going to be completely people-powered. We've been working really closely with the Puppet Centre. They have been really, really helpful and found us 20 volunteer puppeteers.
That one?
Catherine, can you go on the inside of that?
We are lucky enough to have got Mark Jeffress, and he is from Spitting Image, and Peter Elliott, renowned in Hollywood for Gorillas in the Mist. It's going to be hard work for them, but we really want to show that this is not an easy thing that we're doing, because climate change is not an easy thing to tackle.
And 2. I've never actually choreographed something the size of a double-decker bus before, but I'm actually a movement director. This is the first attempt at actually making the thing walk. As soon as you've got something that big, it sort of takes on a bit of momentum of its own. And there's a lot of people involved. You've got 2 people on each leg, you've got a person on each shoulder, you've got about 15 people pulling it, you've got a guy on the steering and the brake, and they all have to work like some symbiotic relationship. So yeah, it is quite a challenge. Stand by! And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2.
Suddenly, all these separate elements actually do come to life.
Aurora seems to kind of just become the thing that I'm imagining more and more each day.
She holds a lot of hope because she realises that all these people are walking with her, and there is a genuine movement worldwide to protect the Arctic.
At the top of the world, there's ice that covers the sea around the Arctic, and that ice sheet kind of naturally shrinks during the Arctic summer months, and it grows again over the winter. And what we've seen over the last 30 years is that it's got 75% smaller by volume than what it used to be. We're looking at the time very soon where there won't be any ice at all. And oil companies, instead of treating this as the kind of tragic thing that it is, they're trying to take advantage of the fact that the ice is not covering these areas to drill there for oil. And of course that's ironic, because drilling for oil and burning fossil fuels is what's increased the melt. For polar bears, what this means is that they have to swim hundreds of miles sometimes to find food. Their habitat is just disappearing literally from under their feet. So it can impact on how many of them there are and how long they have left to live as a species. So having a huge giant polar bear coming from the Arctic to kind of deliver that message and kind of go, look what you're doing to my house, is what we're trying to do here.
It's Aurora's starring moment today. She's just about to be released. I'm just excited and scared, nervous, a million emotions, yeah.
She's going to be walking to Shell, followed by hundreds of people protesting about Shell's plans to drill for oil in the Arctic.
We've got the names of all of the supporters that have signed up to save the Arctic over the last year in her firm.
Today I'm helping move the bear, so I'm in the head and doing a shoulder and doing a foot.
It is quite physical work, so I'm sort of a bit nervous, but I've had a couple of coffees, so fingers crossed.
Okay, are we ready? We're going 3, 2, 1. Yes, bell, off we go.
It's excellent. It really does look as though it's looking at you and it's alive. I love it.
It's just incredible. It's so huge. It must have taken so long to build.
That's brilliant. Finally seeing it out here. It's amazing. Love it.
I think it's a really good turnout, and it shows that there's a lot of support for the campaign.
That we have unity around the world so that we can all work together as one people to make a difference so that we don't have disasters. We need to make a plan to make a better world for our grandchildren and great-grandchildren to come. That's who we're working for.
have signed up to the Save the Arctic campaign, but we need millions more, because we want this company, Shell, that are leading the charge into the Arctic, that are headquartered here, to hear loud and clear that people around the world do not want you to drill in the Arctic.
I'm here today to say very loud and clear to this corporation that my land is not for sale.
Shell has got an injunction out against Greenpeace saying we cannot cross a line that has been drawn around the building here. We want to peacefully break that injunction by people marking their feet in chalk on the other side of that line.
She's filling me with hope. I hope that a lot of people will embrace the message today.
We hope that Shell is going to get a really strong and loud message from all of us today.
I feel really excited at how many people have come together to make this happen, and that they've really believed in it as much as I have. That feeling is pretty amazing, really.